Can you imagine how jealous some of your friends can be when you are succeeding? So the Entangled Web team set out to the prisons to, as we normally do, find out a little more. And over there, we met a woman, Monica, 68 years old, who had a very serious story to tell us. As we sat down to chat with her, she began to weep and cry. She'd been in prison for 10 years with no end in sight. Monica and Richard had gotten married in 1982 when Monica was about 25 years old. And honestly, the love between them was great. Marriage was going well, they had thriving businesses, everything was going splendid until they were ready to have a child and they struggled. For 10 whole years, Monica struggled to get pregnant until finally they were blessed with a bouncing baby girl that they named Marian. Unfortunately, due to complications at birth, Marian was going to be their only child. The doctor announced that Monica could no longer bear kids. And so, both Monica and Richard put all their love and attention into their only child, giving her everything she could ever desire. They got her the best schools, the best toys, gave her everything she would need in life. And to be honest, Marian grew up to be an absolutely remarkable young lady. By the time she was 20, she was thriving. She had a passion in fashion. She loved to create. She liked to draw. She loved to sew. And all her designs were coming out absolutely wonderfully. Realizing that this was their only child's passion, both Monica and Richard invested so much so that she was able to create absolutely amazing outfits and garner several clients. Month on month into year on year, Marian's business grew into a profitable business. She used the rise of social media to get so many clients to share her content and honestly was thriving. Until finally, Marian decided that, she'd been hustling so hard, she really believed that she should have a shop, a place where people can come in, be attended to, and find all of her creations. But she wanted to do it in a grand way, so they scheduled for an anniversary date. On Marian's 3rd anniversary of her business, she would open a physical location, a brand new shop, hire workers, hire attendees, and make this a big deal. And that's exactly what happened. With the backing and support of her family, Marian opened a shop 3 years after starting her business, and it was doing so well. The celebrations were ongoing, music, dancing, food and drinks, everything was going absolutely brilliantly. Until the next day, Marian called Richard, her father, and said, "Oh, Dad, I had such a great time yesterday. Thank you guys for all the love and support. This is how business is planning to go. This is what I'm going to be doing." By the end of the conversation, Marian said, "Oh, Dad, I think I have a headache. It's really hurting me. I don't know if it's the party. I don't know what I did, but my head is killing me." Richard told his daughter that, you rest. Take some time. You've earned it. You had a big celebration yesterday. You can take some time off. Little did he know that would be the last time he spoke to his daughter. Not even 2 hours later, both Monica and Richard were called frantically that Marian had collapsed and was rushed to the hospital. Both Monica and Richard are shocked, devastated, and they rush to the hospital only to find out that unfortunately, Marian had passed away before their arrival. The doctor came to explain to them that unfortunately, they can't really tell what her cause of death was. She was healthy, but she had a headache and then collapsed, and she was gone. Monica, her mother, refused to accept it. She broke down in tears, crying and wailing. Her only child was gone from this earth. But she refused to accept this explanation. If a doctor couldn't figure it out, someone else would know. So she decided to contact a native doctor. Meanwhile, news of the accident and Marian's passing had spread. Everybody was wondering that it was so odd, it was so strange. Nobody could explain it, especially considering that her grand opening had been just last night. Monica eventually found a fetish priest and reached out to him and said, "Look, my daughter has passed away from mysterious circumstances and I absolutely want answers." So she explained the story to the fetish priest and he said, "Okay, let us hold hands, murmur some incantations, and I will give you the answers you seek." So they did just that. Following the incantations, the priest said, "I am seeing something that is not clear, but your daughter Marian had a friend who came to the shop opening with ulterior motives. Monica said she had a lot of friends. Which friend? What were they doing? How did they interfere? What happened? The fetish priest gets a calabash with water and says, look into this water and you will see the face of the person who did this to your child. Monica looks in and gasps. In the water, she sees a young lady, Grace. Grace had been a long-time friend of Marian's since high school days. Monica, confused, says, I don't understand. I know who this person is and I know she's a friend, and yes, she came to the opening, but I don't understand. Why would she do this? The priest said, the revelation is that several years ago, Grace's mother was suffering. She was sick and Grace needed money for her medical treatments. She reached out to Marian for that money, and Marian told her that, look, unfortunately, I don't have it, I can't give you. But Grace did not accept that answer. She truly believed that Marian was being stingy and unfeeling. So when unfortunately Grace's mother passed, Grace blamed Marian, and if Marian had helped, Grace would not have lost her mother. From that moment, Grace had vowed that she would find a way to unalive Marian, and in doing so, make sure she could never be caught. Normally, Monica would not believe such a ludicrous story, but really and truly, she had searched high and low for an answer, and an explanation might make sense. With this newfound information, Monica went that evening to Grace's house with a knife with all bad intentions. The moment Grace opened the door, she barged in and attacked her, throwing blows and her. Police finally arrived and Monica was dragged away. Fortunately or unfortunately, Grace passed that night. Monica was eventually sentenced to 30 years in jail. As she told us this story, Monica continued to weep, but then she looked up and said, my daughter's death has been avenged. I do not care what happens to me in this prison. Now that's an entangled web. That's all we got for you guys today. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms at EntangledWebStories. And I'll see you every single Saturday.